Well, hey there everybody. Today I'm going to teach you how to make 6 super easy last-minute Christmas gifts with the help of your Cricut machine. This is sort of a mashup video and it's got a lot of different fun ideas. All of these image files and SVGs are free, so make sure you visit the blog post that goes with this below so that you can download all of these files. These are very easy and quick ideas to make, but they are super cute, very personal, and I know your recipient will absolutely love them. First up, I'm going to show you how to do a simple Christmas blanket, and this SVG file is free, like I said, on the blog. So what I've done here is I've gone ahead and cut out a bunch of glitter iron-on vinyl on my Cricut machine. You can do it in all one color or several colors. I like to use gold, red, and white. I am using a green blanket, so keep in mind the color of your blanket for the project when you're deciding on your iron-on vinyl colors. I'm also using, of course, a weeding tool here, and I will be using my Cricut Easy Press in order to get this onto my blanket. I purchased this fleece blanket at my local Michael's craft store. You can use other blankets that aren't fleece as well, like cotton, polyester, that kind of stuff. I just like this because it was Christmassy looking. I'm placing my largest piece here first, which is the white vinyl in my case. And I went ahead and set my Easy Press to 280 for 30 seconds. Make sure that you let this cool before you peel back your liner. If you do not let it cool before you peel back the liner, your material may try and come off of the blanket because it hasn't had time to set. So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of your setting. If you're not using fleece like me, you may want to try a different setting. You can go to cricut.com/heat guide, and that will give you easy press heat guides for your material and your fabric that you're working with. So I first added my largest piece on, which was the white for me that says this is my Christmas movie watching blanket. I then added the hallmark on, and now I'm adding on the ribbon. It's very important to note that you always want to make sure your entire design is protected when you're placing that Easy Press on. So if you're adding it in layers like this, make sure you save that liner and place it back over to protect your design as you're transferring the additional pieces. That's how simple and easy this Christmas gift is, and I know your recipient will love it because I've given away several of these before and all of my recipients absolutely adore them. So I hope you like this one. Let's move on to number 2. Next up, we have customized pot holders. These are super popular and they're very simple to make. Again, I'm using a heat transfer vinyl here. I went with a white glitter, and I'm using red pot holders. You can find links to all these supplies on my blog, and that is available for you below in the video description if you're watching this directly on YouTube. If you're using a similar pot holder like me here, make sure that the pocket side is up, and then go ahead and, of course, cut out and weed your vinyl, and then we're going to press that on. I went with 300 degrees for 30 seconds. Again, same as the last time, you want to make sure you let this thoroughly cool down before you remove the liner, or you will struggle to make sure that your material sticks to that pot holder. This is very simple, and again, all of these SVGs are free on the blog. To complete this gift, I went ahead and added some Christmas spoons and spatulas and a little Christmas cookie cutter to the center of the little pocket there on our pot holders. You can do this even with oven mitts if you don't like the pot holders. I tried one with an oven mitt as well, and it worked really well. So you can have a lot of fun with them. This is a great like white elephant gift, or like a teacher gift I think would be amazing for this. You can even add a package of cookies to the pocket if you want. And once again, you can download all of these files for free on the blog. Next up, we have some treat and cookie boxes. I have a couple of different designs of these, which again are free on the blog for you. I have a whole blog post on all of these crafts. And I have these cute little cookie boxes and also a snowflake box as well, which I'll show you at the end here. And I cut these out on a thick cardstock on my Cricut machine. And they have little cutouts in them to make them kind of fancy and make them stand out. So I used some clear cellophane to create a window. And to get the cellophane to stick, I just use a runner tape. You could probably use Scotch tape on the inside as well since you can't see anything. Either will work. Maybe even a light glue, but I prefer working with tape because you're putting food in there. You don't want like glue strings to get on anybody's food. So I recommend working with tape. I add some of this scrapbooking runner tape here. This is Tombow runner tape. And I grab this thin piece of cellophane, which you can find online, and I place it right on the inside there over those little window areas. That way our cookies will stay in place, but you'll see them through the front of the package. Then you're going to need to fold this. When you download these files, you will see solid black lines on the SVG when you bring it into Cricut Design Space, and those you just need to change to score lines. So select those black lines, go up to the line type and change them to score lines, attach your design together with the attach tool, and then you'll be able to cut this out using your scoring stylus or your scoring wheel, and all of this will be perfectly scored for you, so you don't have to worry about trying to make sure you get the folds perfectly right. Once you get everything folded according to those score lines, go ahead and use either some hot glue on the edges or some other type of glue to do the final sealing here. You can use glue at this point because it's getting tucked in between another piece of paper, whereas like the liner on the inside that I was talking about a minute ago is in direct contact with food. So the hot glue is okay on the end piece there, but I wouldn't recommend it for the actual internal part where the cellophane is. For the bottom, you're just going to fold in all of those little sides there and then add a little bit of glue and close that up. And once again, you can see the glue is fine because it's not going to make any direct contact with food there whatsoever. Give that a good crease, and now you can go ahead and add some candy or cookies to the inside of this. I have a couple of different designs for this style of box on the blog. One of them has sort of a Christmas scene cutout, and the other one has some Christmas trees as the cutout on it. And you can add some cookies in there or some candy. I also have a really cute snowflake box design. The snowflake box is a little bit different. It's more of an oblong box, and it has a snowflake at the top here, as you can see, that opens out from the top, and you can stack your cookies or your candies on the inside there. So that's a super cute gift box that you guys can make for a variety of gifts that you could stick inside of there. Alright, so that is our next easy Cricut Christmas craft, and let's move on to number 4. Next up, I'm going to show you how to make this adorable Starbucks coffee ornament for your Christmas tree. This is something that recipients will definitely love, and it is actually a lot easier to make than it looks. For this project, you are going to need some lightweight spackling, and you can find this at like Lowe's, Home Depot, online. You're also going to need a plastic cup, you'll need a spoon, and then you'll also need a piping bag, a tip, and a coupler like you would use for decorating a cake. I'm going to take a few large scoops of this spackling into the cup. And what we need to do here is we need to thin it out with some water because it's just a little too stiff to go through the tip of our piping bag at this point. So I add 1 to 2 teaspoons of water, and then I stir it together with my spoon, and this sort of thins it out and gets it in a consistency that will go through the tip of our piping bag. I'm adding my coupler up to the tip of my piping bag here, and then placing the decorative tip on top, which is the metal tip you see here. The little decorative tip I'm placing on here, and then you want to screw your coupler closed right over the top of that. To get the spackling inside and to make it a little bit easier, I grab another cup and I place the piping bag down inside and fold it over the cup so that you're able to sort of work on scooping it inside of the bag, and it makes it just a little bit easier that way. Make sure that when you're working with the spackling, you do all of this within a 10 to 15 minute time frame, because even though we've thinned it out with some water, this spackling will start to set within about 45 minutes to an hour. You're still going to want to let it dry for 12 to 24 hours so that nothing is brittle or is breaking. So what I've done here is I've cut out a little circle of cardstock which matches the size of my cup. I just flipped my cup over and I measured using my cup a little circle using some thick cardstock, and now I'm taking my spackling and I'm using that piping tip to create a whipped cream top that's going to look just like a coffee or a frappuccino from Starbucks with a whipped cream top. I've grabbed a paper straw here. You can find these online, party stores, all sorts of places. And I've cut it down so that it's more appropriate to size, and while that spackling's still wet, I'm going to place that little tip right there on the side, and you want to set this aside and just let it dry for 12 to 24 hours. While that's drying, you can prep your cup. I use some baker's twine here, and you want to cut a piece, probably about a 6 to 8 inch piece, and then you want to bring the two open ends together and form a little knot so that you have a knot on one side and a loop on the other. I use Gorilla Glue to attach this to the inside. I do not recommend using hot glue because it will peel away from your ceramic porcelain and it will not stick at all, and your ornament will probably fall and will break. So make sure you use Gorilla Glue or something very similar to it because it really bonds to the porcelain well and you don't have to worry about that happening. Put a generous amount in there all the way down the side of your string, and make sure you place this right in line with the handle of your little espresso cup because you want to make sure this hangs correctly on your Christmas tree. So make sure it's where the handle is. You're going to let that dry for a few minutes as well. The Starbucks labels you're seeing here, I just pulled an image from Google and I brought it into Cricut Design Space and I scaled it to the size that will fit my cup. You're going to want to measure your own cup. Mine was about 2 inches, I think, wide, and I used printable vinyl for this. All of these resources for my supplies can be found in that blog post if you want to know where I get my printable vinyl and all of that. If you're unfamiliar with the print and cut process, I have a whole blog post on how to do that as well. Now that my whipped cream spackling has dried for several hours, I'm going to add it to the top here of my cup. And I'm going around again with that Gorilla Glue because it is the best thing to attach to glass or porcelain or ceramic in this case, to where this is going to stay put and not come apart. You're going to make sure you want to let that dry for at least an hour or two before you try moving this at all. And once you have, then your item will be complete and you can hang this adorable ornament on your Christmas tree or give it to a loved one. For craft number 5, I'm going to show you how I add some simple permanent vinyl onto a ceramic mug. This is an excellent gift to make that's quick, easy, and will definitely be adored by your recipient. Make sure you start with a ceramic mug that is clean and been wiped down and it's dust free so that your vinyl doesn't have any issues sticking. I have 3 cute free SVG files for this, including this is my Hallmark Christmas movie watching mug, baby it's COVID outside, and Christmas cheer loading are all the cute phrases I have, and you can download these on the blog. I have used a foil permanent vinyl for the Hallmark word here, and I'm also using a standard transfer tape in order to transfer this design onto my mug. I've also used some white permanent vinyl here for some of my words because my mug is red. The white's going to stand out really well. Think about that in retrospect to your particular mug that you might be working with. If yours is a different color like white, then you might want to go with red font, red vinyl, not white vinyl like I'm doing here. When you're transferring this, make sure you burnish both the front and the back of your design and not just the front because it really helps it transfer a lot easier. And then peel the liner away from the actual transfer tape rather than the transfer tape from the liner. Here are my white vinyl letters ready to go here, and I'm going to place this onto the mug. Now, to help get it on a curved surface, I recommend using some detail scissors to snip some slits around all sides of your design. This can help the transfer tape be a little bit more giving and will allow you to get it onto that curved surface with a little less effort. You want to sort of just place it according to where you want it to go and centering it according to your eye. Of course, when you're cutting this design out on your Cricut, you want to make sure you measure your mug and your design to make sure that you're scaling it proportionally. You're going to want to push with your fingers or a Cricut scraper to get this down. I find when working with curved surfaces, it's better to press with your finger rather than the scraper. It's just more effective. So I've added on my white premium vinyl here, and now I'm going to add on the foil, the gold foil adhesive vinyl. Make sure you weed out any pieces that need to get removed before you transfer the design onto the mug. I'm centering that along with the other words, and I'm pressing that down. Since this is a single line and it's kind of going horizontal with the mug, I'm not too concerned about adding those little slits because it's a little bit of a different shape of a transfer going on there. And I've added my green pieces on as well, which is the little banner pieces and the little fleurs on the side. And so that is how that mug turned out. I also created a second one which says Christmas cheer loading. So that's the other design you can download for free on my blog, as well as one that says baby it's COVID outside in honor of 2020. For the final easy Christmas Cricut craft, this is also kind of in honor of 2020, but you could do this any year as well. I have some hand sanitizer and some soap labels that I thought would be cute to dress up some hand sanitizer and soaps as like little stocking stuffer gifts. I'm going through the print and cut process for these on my Cricut machine. If you're unfamiliar again with print and cut, I have a whole blog post on it. I'm going to link it below for you. All of these designs are free, so you can enjoy them. My favorite one is the one that says use some Sanitizer, kind of a play on words there. I used printable vinyl for these, so I love using printable vinyl over sticker paper because it's way more forgiving, it goes on surfaces way smoother, so I recommend that. Santa and Elf and Rudolph. And you can put these on cute sanitizer bottles. Make sure you just measure your bottles accordingly to scale them. They should already be proportional though for you. You'll just need to scale them according to your size. I've picked up some simple soap bottles here, and I have these little tags, and I decided to put the tags as a printable onto my printable vinyl, and I'm placing it as the label onto my soap here. And then to decorate at the top, I'm going to add just a little ribbon, and I'm going to tie it into a bow and then glue that with some hot glue right on top of the tag there. And it's just a way to personalize and dress up some simple soaps and hand sanitizers. This can be a good teacher gift, or even a stocking stuffer, or just something fun on the side. So there you have it, 6 super easy Christmas gifts that you can make last minute with your Cricut machine. Make sure you download all of these designs and image files for free on my blog. The link is below for you. You can find them in my freebie vault and you can enjoy them. I'd love to see what you're making, so also be sure to click my link below to join my Facebook group, and I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching and Merry Christmas.